Are we talking about lady nuts? Are we talking about my nuts? Whose nuts? I can't even see if the audio levels are great. One thing that I keep realizing, my production value shooting down. Right before, I would have a modicum of care and put these live streams and actually set up the camera and make it look nice. Instead, what I've done is that I've essentially done the opposite of that. Maybe I should turn on the laptop as a monitor. Maybe that's something I should do, right? Have the laptop as a monitor so that way I could see a bigger screen and also not have to worry about looking at the tiny comments. I'm getting old, man. My eyesight is trash. So welcome. I feel like again my production value is diminishing, right? I promise I'm gonna have a regular PigCast sometime soon, where I have it with the little studio setup and the green screen and all the stuff. But for now, this is quicker. And you're getting the same amount of information. You're not getting anything different, right? You're getting the same information. It's not like the median count, and it's a pain in the ass. I have a small apartment as it is. So to set up all the stuff and to put the laptop and the table and to set up all the cables, it's a fucking mess. But I'll still do it for you guys. I'll still do it for you guys. But look at this. Look how quick and efficient this was. I set it up in less than a minute. I have the audio. It sounds crispy. As a matter of fact, let me make sure the levels are good here. Yep, look at that. Tremendous. I have an Ethernet cable connected directly to the phone, so my Wi-Fi capabilities are strong. Look at that. So there's also a little bit of production value here, believe it or not. I set up that light, right? I set up this light. I turned off this main light. So there's things I still do, but obviously the other one looks a little bit better because it's shot on a camera. Love you, PigCake. Hey, Pigster. What's up? And then, of course, Maria saying, I still can't pronounce that word. I know Manel was trying to get me on that word, but I still can't pronounce it just because it's a rough one. Portuguese is pretty aggressive, especially as a native Cuban man like I am. When it comes to hearing stuff like that or trying to pronounce it, I have a trash accent as it is, as a Cuban. So my Spanish is really probably bottom of the barrel. If you ever hear people like Colombians talk Spanish, I don't want to say Spaniards because Spaniards talk Spanish. I would say worse than Cubans, but Colombians have a very nice formal Spanish. Mexican Spanish is pretty garbage, right? So imagine my trash Spanish trying to understand Portuguese. It's not gonna go well. So every time I try to pronounce those things, it's definitely not well to that effect. But what was that? There was a topic. I was going to get into some topics here today. This is an action-packed episode, believe it or not. Even though there's no production value here, as you could see from my lack of studio setup, you could see the garbage that I haven't taken out yet. I think it's being covered by the tripod, but you could see the garbage. There's not a lot of production value that went into this. You said I am his girlfriend. I'm proud of him. I'm proud of him for having a girlfriend. Manel is. I'm jealous, by the way. I'm very jealous because I would like to be his girlfriend. Alas, that's very difficult as I live here and he lives in Portugal. So you should be proud of yourself. I'm very jealous. So far, I haven't heard you talk about the lectures in Blackpool. Did you see any of them? Well, funny enough, today, not to show my own Pig Cake Magic Academy, but I dropped a little bit of a lesson talking about the convention and why I think, even though obviously in these videos I always, make fun of things, right? I say, hey, put on deodorant, shower, even though look at me, I'm a mess. I just worked out a little bit and I'm sweating. I haven't put moisturizer on my face, but I'm always making fun of magicians and their scent in conventions. But in all truthfulness, I think that going to a magic convention is a necessary thing for every single magician that takes their shit seriously. And I put a little bit of a lesson on that. Now, with that being said, one of the points in that particular lesson is that the lectures are optional. I know it's kind of shitty, especially if you go to something like Magic Live where you're paying $455 a ticket. Are you having a fucking laugh? But obviously, you'd want to attend the lectures if the cost of admission is that high. However, when it comes to, I think, what you're going to get the most from in a convention, you're going to get the most from sitting around. You're going to get most from the bar. You're going to get most from sitting at a restaurant, just hanging out, sitting down at a table of people and going, hey, you guys mind if I take a seat? And then watch them perform and see what it is they're doing and then perform yourself and then get feedback and then have this nice loop of virginity and understanding, right? So I think that's where you get the most value. Now, I think if you are interested in a lecture, you should definitely go, right? But don't just go because it's there, right? Go if it's going to be something that's interesting. What I find with a lot of lectures is that they tend to now be sales pitches, which is kind of obnoxious. So they tend to be a dealer demo. So you might get maybe three or four good ideas, which I think is worth the entire lecture, but they involve buying stuff. So the only value that I would get is watching it and then trying to come up with alternatives that don't involve buying the very expensive products. But you could always get even. I think if you even get one good idea from a lecture, it's probably worth it to go. But I didn't attend any lectures at Blackpool. Sorry, I'm not sorry. I only pretty much meandered around. I saw one gala show, and that was about it in terms of actual events in Blackpool. Obviously, the dealer hall. I went to that, and I bought one thing, which I was actually going to talk about my haul, my Blackpool haul later on in this particular live stream to show you what it is that I got. But it's not much, to be honest, and most of it was given to me, apart from the one thing that I bought, and that's another lesson in and of itself. Chris Mitchell says, "Whomst." Funny enough, I just got some Cross Keys deck. I was gonna get a Cross Keys hat, but I forgot to bring it from Turner's house in England. The shitty part is that I accidentally stole one of his bags of tricks, right? So I stole one of his bags of tricks, which is wasn't really filled with much. It's not like I got anything from it. It was just prank stuff. But I now have to ship that back to him. But look at that. I got myself some Cross Keys decks, right? Look at that. Some hot ones with his little name on it. I say little because that's what he refers to me as because I am little and he's big and he's a bully. But I have a couple of these now. I also got my hands on these, which I was looking forward to for quite a bit of time. These are Abraxas Resurrected deck. So this is one that I've actually been asking him for about a fucking year, and I thought they were gonna ship some out to me, but they didn't. I literally had to go to England in order to get them. So these are the ones by Abraxas, my good buddy Nathan, who I went to his studio and got these tattoos. So I already know my next tattoo, by the way. I'm not a tattoo guy. The reason I got this, for example, is because I think the idea of a tattoo is a joke, right? I get it. You're trying to, have meaning or put meaning to a tattoo. I'm not of that mentality. I want to have joke tattoos. So I know the next one that I'm gonna get. I don't know where, but I know what it is. But yeah, so those are the decks that I got. I still got other decks that I guess I'll show later on in the video. But when it came to Blackpool, there wasn't any scents. Surprisingly, there weren't any scents. It was a nice, pleasant smell. Might have been because of the cold, but one of the things that I think you should look out for is a video on illusionists. I've put two videos that I sent them that are going to go out soon, assuming that they don't. I don't know, not put the videos up for whatever reason. Maybe annoying people complaining because they're jealous. But I put two videos that I sent them. One is a Blackpool documentary, if you want to call it a documentary, which is fun, going across and seeing what the Blackpool has to offer. We had a nice little fun sequence in there, me, Peter, and the gang. And another one is me actually getting this tattoo and doing a little tutorial and showing it in a tattoo parlor. So I thought that was fun. And you get a rare piggy performance. Look at that. You get a rare little piggy performance in that video. We're actually doing any card at any number. So they actually took me out of my non-performance shell and do a little bit of that. And it let me know that I like it. I usually am not a fan of performances. I like creating stuff, if that sounds a little bit on the virgin side, speaking of the title of this particular video. But I'm more of a fan of solving the puzzle, right? Of looking at a trick and then trying to figure out how I could do it, but with less compromise. And then that's kind of how I get my magic jollies off. However, when it comes to something like performance, I'm not really a huge fan of it. But then just having that little performance, it was fun. It was fun, and I want to see if I could do that more often and get introduce some performances to my videos because I do think that they're lacking in that effect. Obviously, I do it for the camera, but I think it'll be way more exciting to do it for actual real people and show you how they would look like. So that was a nice little bit, as Mark Lemon would say. Those cards are legit. Yeah, they're nice. I mean, again, I'm not a fan of playing cards. I think they're all the same. much like tattoos, as I mentioned before. I think they're all the same, which is why I chose to get the words tattoo tattooed on me. As a matter of fact, I'll let you into my next tattoo. Everybody that I've shown this to has said the same thing, right? Not everyone, but 90% have said the same thing, which is you're an idiot, right? You should have gotten something meaningful. You should have gotten a meaningful tattoo. So you could guess it, my friends. I'm going to get the word meaningful tattooed somewhere on my person, just because, right? Whatever. I could do whatever I want. But as far as playing cards, to me, they're all the same, right? But at least those are kind of cool because they have a very special marking system. Usually, I don't like that style of marking, if I have to be honest, because I want to be able to look at one section and then read the card, right? But what I like about these, which I found myself playing around with them, is that if I want to find one particular card, I could just stare at that section until I see that card, so I could just see it. Whereas, for example, if I have readers, which is the markings that I prefer, I'm sorry that we're getting into really some hardcore virgin territory, but you asked for it. So these are not readers per se. So they're not. You're not going to see the pip and the card in one section. You're going to see the suit and you're going to see the card based on the back because it's a Ouija board, right? It makes sense. So they hid the design of the markings very cleverly. Now, the benefit to a reader is that you could see the card in one spot, you know what it is. That's it. The benefit of this, which I found, which is, I think, an advantage, is that when you are looking for a certain card, all you have to do is just look at one spot. So if you just see the marking on the spot, you know that's the card. So whereas for a reader, you're going to have to actively look for that. So it becomes a little bit more tedious to look for specific cards if you're using readers. Whereas with these, all I have to do is just look at, if I want to find a three, I just look at the three and then see if I come up with the marking. So I like that. I really do like that. And I thought I wouldn't. I thought I wouldn't. So I'm a hypocrite when it came to bashing these styles of marked decks, or not these styles, but there are other ones that are like, oh look, if you look at the pedals of the clock, all you have to do is translate the code of Hammurabi, and you get the club, and then you get the light pat. And no, I don't like that. But these are a nice a mix of both, and I really enjoyed playing with these by Nathan. Of course, I'm biased as fuck because well, Nathan is a buddy, but what is that? Hot pink canned drink, says Woody, who also asked me if I'm lonely. I don't know. I don't know. Am I lonely? By virtue of being a magician, I guess that's apparent, right? Every magician's lonely, even if they've been married for 20 years. This is the brand new Coke Zero Starlight, right? This is the Coke Zero Starlight. They say it tastes like a campfire. I think it tastes like a stripper, like the inside of a stripper's vag, right? So that is what I'm drinking here. It's limited edition. It's all right. I've had better. I've had worse, right? It's like you find a five at a bar. That's the equivalent of maybe a 6.5. Dr. Moggs says, hey, I saw you in the Ruskin Blackpool. You're a cool virginal dude. Hey, buddy. There you go. You probably saw me double fisting pints because here's the thing. I kept getting offered pints. That's one thing that I took for granted, right? Which is I really don't understand the scope of my own videos. But I was very happy with the amount of people that approached me and the amount of people that said, hey, man, I love your work. You're fucking great. Let me get you a pint. Happened constantly. Happened constantly. So I was always almost double fisting 2 cups of beer and then drinking one and somebody would hand me another. And I'm like, I don't know what I'm doing with my life. But it's not to sound like, I can't say words like that anymore because then they will be taken out of context and placed in videos sent to my potential employers, right? But it was humbling, and it was, I think, something that made me want to keep doing this forever, essentially. So just meeting people like that and running into people and asking them or having them tell me, oh my God, I finally get to meet you, makes me want to do this forever. It really does, and I just want to thank those people. I appreciate it. So don't think that I'm being a cynical cunt. Show your new tat, the one that you fainted. Well, these, to be honest, right? This was a massage because I got these done at a tattoo parlor. Let me see if I could kind of show you this one. I don't know how I'm going to do this because I'm not that flexible anymore. I used to be a little bit flexible, but we'll do it this way, right? I guess. Let me see. You really can't see it from afar, but over here, I have the word #virgin tattooed on my ankle bone, which was done at the Ruskin, I think in the ground or the basement floor maybe it might have been the second floor of the Ruskin, surrounded by nothing but beer and germs. So I'm surprised it didn't get infected. And then also had a nice peruse on Peter's hot tub, which was great after getting tattoos, which I read is a nice way of making sure that you legitimately get infected. But I didn't. I didn't get infected, and this one came out actually better than these. So believe it or not, the one that was done in a drunken stupor in a bar basement in fucking Blackpool, England, was my favorite because this was freehand, right? So I wanted these to be done freehand and a little bit more ghetto, but they were very professional at Skinworks, and I was very grateful. And I do a little performance for them. And if you look at their YouTube channel, I do a little bit for them, and then they do the tattoo and they interview me. Very nice of them, very nice people, and I really appreciated their hospitality. So super sweet people, and of course Nathan, my buddy, is the one that is in charge of this fantastic deck, and he allowed me to do some stuff with him. So great stuff there. But yeah, so this is the one that I passed out. A lot of people are calling me a pussy. A lot of people are saying, "Oh, dude, you passed out, man. I can't believe you passed out, dude, getting a tattoo." Well, understand the context. I've been drinking profusely for approximately 2.5 days prior to that. I didn't have a lot of food. As a matter of fact, I had no food. I was only drinking. And I decided to get that tattoo. And if you notice in the video, I keep drinking, right? So there's no water. The only water that gets introduced is after I pass out. And obviously, Peter has a very hard hand when it comes to tattoos. And it felt like he was getting a steak knife and just ripping through my ankle bone. So I tried not to sell it, right? If you notice, I'm just there huffing and puffing, thinking, I'm good, I'm fine, I could just tolerate this pain. I don't think I've had more aggressive pain. Actually, yes, I lied. So when I got hit by a GMC Acadia while riding my motorcycle, there's another one here that I guess I'll show. I have what I call a knee pussy, right? So it didn't hurt when I got hit by the car. However, I did have a wide gap and slits on my knee. And when I went to the hospital, the nurse, who was fairly attractive, grabbed a needle and then just did this on the inside of the wound while I imagine putting in some sort of something to numb the pain so she could stitch it. That hurt probably more than anything in my entire life, as did the tattoo on my ankle. I don't think I've experienced anything harder or more aggressive than that. And I feel like that was on purpose. I feel like he dug in there and just really wanted to make sure. But unfortunately, I have to give credit where credit is due. That's my favorite tattoo, right? It looks the best. So there's my thing. Are you fine with standing for so long? Yeah, here's the other part, right? Let me go back here again. Notice that there's not much, right? So look at this. This isn't much to hold up, right? So you could tell the height is not really. Yesterday, I was sitting down, we were watching the UFC fight, and I get up, and my friend goes, "Whoa, you got up really quick." It's not about getting up quick, is that there's not much to get up, right? There's not much to get up. So I get up quickly because, look, I'm still low to the ground. So it's not really a hard thing for me to stand for hours on end. I started walking around the dealer's room. Sadly, I was working. Next year, perhaps. Where were you at? Where were you at, Miguel Pinto? Miguel Pinto. Sounds like a novela, right? Like a novela bad guy that he walks in after sleeping with Mariana. So yeah, but I was also walking around the dealer house. As a matter of fact, might as well get into what I bought. I only bought one thing. I think I mentioned this before, and it's this penis-shaped gum. That's it, right? It's this penis-shaped gum. That's all I bought. Literally is what it is. It's a piece of gum, or what looks like to be a piece of gum that you put in your mouth. You chew real gum, and then you pretend to spit this puppy out. John Miranda, stand, don't worry. I'm also a compact unit of a man. God bless us. Short kings, my friend. Short kings. People take us for granted, right? They think, oh, look, they're short, whatever. They're not really humans. We are. And inevitably, when the revolution comes, all right, guess what? We're going to be the ones in the front taking down all you tall motherfuckers. I don't see any 6'4", 70-year-olds. Ever thought of that? Huh? 6'4", 70-year-olds, 6 feet, 70-year-olds. I don't see a lot of them. What I do see is a lot of short old people, which means we last longer. So just wait, buddy. Just fucking wait, and we're coming at you. All right, you tall fucks, thinking that you could hold supremacy over us. Right, so this is what I got. That's it. That's literally all I bought. I was convinced by the chap at Saturn Magic. I was going to buy, I think I mentioned this in a previous live stream, a very aggressive version of the. I don't know if I have my illusionist cat's paw here. That they sent me that I did a video for them. But it's essentially the little hand, but with a penis, right? So I was gonna buy that, but it was $30, and I wasn't gonna justify spending $30 on something that I would never. It was so violently aggressive, the penis size. Um, but yeah, so that is one thing I bought, and then the other things that were given to me again were a bunch of playing cards. Abraxas handed me a bunch. RJ, right, who was fun to meet. She is, I believe, the one that deals with all the emails at Illusionist, which is a fun job to get, especially when they decide to have videos with me in them. And lonely virgins decide to complain for no reason other than they hate their own lives. So that's one. And she has a deck, which she decided to hand me very gracefully right here. Right, designed by Daniel Schneider, manufactured by Cardamundi, and RJ came up with this deck, and I thought it was pretty dope. Right, again, I'm not a huge fan of like these overly designed playing cards. Right, you have a bunch of shit happening. I like simplicity. Right, so look at this. It's very reminiscent of what do you call this? Silence of the Lambs. Right, she kind of looks like what's her name? Jodie Foster. I kept calling her Jodie Foster. She's in a video, the Blackpool video, by the way, because I interview her because she's an actual girl at Blackpool. So I thought that was a fun dynamic. So this is a cool deck. So she handed me that. Another one here is this one, which Paul Richards, I believe. Let's see. Right, so these are the Hamza playing cards by Paul Richardson. So he gave me these puppies to use in videos. They're very nice, right? If you are into this sort of weird, a lot of girls are into this, by the way. I don't get it. You see them all the time, especially here by the tourist traps. They're always wearing that little eye, that little blue thing, right? Bracelets. They're always wearing like necklaces with this sort of motif on it. And I don't get it, but I thought it was cool. I'm very grateful that Paul handed me these cards. Very nice of them, printed by Hanson Chen. Hanson Chen. I don't want to say a good buddy of mine, but very grateful that Hanson has sent some stuff over. He sent me the Tic Tac. He also sent me the color change bit where the dollar changes into a cigarette. And then I forgot what else he sent me. He sent me some other cool shit. Oh, the Dick rubber band. Jesus, what a tremendous production in that company. Jesus. But the only thing I bought was that. I only bought the Dick gum. And this is what lets me know, by the way, on this is what lets me know on how it is that the magic market has thrived till now. I heard probably maybe 10 to 20 times the same story, which is, dude, I just went into the dealer's hall and I just spent like a grand on shit. I heard that constantly. And then you look at what they bought and it's fucking shit. They bought Coin Unique, right? They bought Coin Unique, which is, if you're not familiar with that particular product as an ignorant American, Coin Unique is a scotch and soda, right? They bought like Bytecoin and shit like that. And it's like an Oreo that stuffs, gets bigger. Oh, yeah, dude. Just put a fucking marshmallow between two little black things. I can't say that because out of context, they'll use that. But just too little, like it doesn't make any sense, right? So about $1,000. The average that I heard from people purchasing stuff from the dealer hall was maybe $700 of just around. Oh my God, I bought this. I don't want to tell my wife because she's gonna go crazy. I'm going crazy, and I'm not even in your life. Just hearing it. Now it's in my head, and I have to think. I would have to put so much effort. Actually, no, speaking of Joe Miranda, I'll just go in there. If you give me, hey, spend $1,000 quickly, I'd be like, I'll spend 2 grand quickly in one transaction, and I'll buy that wallet, which looks, I can't believe that fucking wallet. I know it looks big, but obviously they have the slimmer wallet, right, that fits in it, or not fits in it, but allows you to make it seem like you have this thin wallet. The technology behind that thing is out of control. It is a thick wallet, right? You have to address that. But the technology behind that wallet, I'm sweating at the thought of the ingenuity and the possibility of what it is that these people are capable of coming up with that wallet. The stuff and the remotes and the accessories, I'm like, in what planet? In what planet? right? And the small wallet is my favorite. Yeah, yeah, somebody was one of there was a bit that I put in the illusionist video, by the way, which is a funny one. Somebody has a funny take on it, but the actual wallet itself, just the stuff around it. I'm like, I thought it was this, and then it ends up being that, and I'm like, how do you fit that in that, and then how do you and then the app, I'm just blown away by that. But if you told me, for example, let's say the Miranda wallet wasn't a thing, and you said, "Hey, spend $1,000 in a Magic convention," I'd be having a panic attack because I don't know what I would spend it on. I'm like, "Oh shit, hippity hop rabbits, maybe an illusion," and these guys spent it easily on stuff that you're probably never going to use, right? And these are not professionals for the most part. They were amateurs. They were people that are just a hobbyist, right? Which there's nothing wrong with. But my God, was there so much money spent in that dealer hall? Unbelievably. And of course, I add to that pool by buying my dick gum. Am I ever going to do this in person? I don't know. The tic tac, I feel I'm more likely to do in person, right? If the opportunity ever arises, I think it's a cool thing. I think it's super easy and it looks crazy and they'll remember it forever. This, I would have to carry this on me, right? And then be chewing gum and go, hey, watch this, right? Whereas a tic tac, it makes sense that you would carry tic tacs around. So, oh, look, let me do this crazy thing with a tic tac. This, the moment people see it, they go, oh, that's so funny. Wait, you actually carry this piece of rubber that looks like a dick around to try to do this trick to people? Not a good look. It's the 40-year-old virgin rule, right? Which a lot of magicians tend to disagree with me on, but I think it's a very valid rule. I finally found a scene in the movie. I think I put it in one of the videos. I forgot which one, but I finally found a scene in a movie where Steve Carell gets a giant coin behind the girl's ear, and then he pulls an ear from behind her ear, and then the other daughter, I think it was Kat Dennings, who is a 10 out of 10. She goes, so you carry around a giant coin and an ear all day? And he goes, yeah, yeah, I do. Ugh. So if it fails the 40-year-old virgin rule, I'm not a fan of it. So that's just a little tip there. I saw you an illusionist earlier. How's it going? Well, man, I'm happy with doing videos for them. Hopefully it stays. Obviously, I'm very grateful, right? Because that is, again, an opportunity that I've always wanted, right? From the very beginning, I've always looked at penguin magic. I've always looked at illusionists. I was obsessed with the street magic kit from back in the day. Not the new one, but the old one where Brad was doing magic on hookers. I was a fanboy of the ninja stuff. And there wasn't a lot, man. If you were thinking of what was around in terms of online media in the middle 2000s, there wasn't much. There wasn't anything really. Penguin Magic had their stuff and Illusionists, and that's about it. So you had to gravitate towards one of them. And boy, to be able to do that for them and make videos for them and have, potential for other stuff, I'm eternally grateful for them. And they had a little bit of a virgin out recently with Kaylin Morelli that I think I wanted to make into an entire video. And that seems to be some drama back and forth. Obviously, I have a little bit of insight, but my God, just the golden ratio of retardation and virginity. Let's see. It says we might have a shorter life, but it's definitely a better one. I disagree, especially when you spend most of your time leaving shitty comments on people that you don't like's videos. That doesn't make sense, right? Like, oh man, I really don't like this, but I'm gonna watch all of it. Let me just watch all of it. But I hate it. But I've watched every minute of it. Like, really? Who's the person enjoying their life there, buddy? Don't worry, pal. I'm a compact unit. I already read that. What do you think of the Tunix caramel chocolate bar? I don't know what the fuck that is. Tunix caramel chocolate bar. What is that? I don't know what that is. Is that a thing? I know I had a lot of treats over there. If you're referring to one of the treats that I had in that treats video from a couple of days ago on my channel, you should look at that one if you haven't already. It's me enjoying a bunch of weird biscuits. Actually, this is how hard I haven't been able to shake England, right? So, I've actually bought, and I know this is insulting, right? I know it's insulting. I hope you could still hear me, by the way. Uh, I've, I'm, I'm converting into a tea guy, right? And I know Lipton is like the N word of teas, but I'm a fan, man. I'm a fan. So I bought this at BJ's recently. It's a 100 pack of Earl Grey. I know Yorkshire is the one that I was recommended in terms of the tea to get, but I've had maybe like 3 cups today, 3 cups of tea. I get it. I get it now, right? I used to make fun of it, but it's a nice little pick me up, right? It's a little pick me up. You have a cup of tea and then you're good to go. I am. Okay, yeah. So now I have to babysit a dog, which is great. So I can't wait for that. Can't wait to babysit a dog that I heavily hate. But I guess that's gonna be my rest of the day. Pig Cake, today's my birthday. Joshua, happy birthday, man. Hope you have a fantastic birthday. Hope that it's not filled with too much virginity, right? Don't be tempted to do stuff just because of your birthday and you want to perform something, right? So just take it back. Enjoy a nice little brewski if that's the case. If somebody tries to slam your face in cake, just unfriend them forever. I think that that's a crime punishable by death. If you are somebody that they bring a cake to a party and you're the guy that slams the person's face into the cake, off with your head. That if I was president, maybe I should send a letter to Biden and see if he could do that because I'd vote for him round two if he enacts a law where if you take a person's head and you slam it into cake, that's somebody purchased, by the way. It's not free cake, buddy. That's somebody purchased and you ruin the cake and you ruin the guy's outfit and his face. Immediately to the gulag immediately. Like there's not even a due process, just gone. Because what are you doing? You're inconsiderate. Oh, you're funny. Oh, haha, yeah, funny, funny. But then you slam the person's face in a cake. And what if I want to eat cake? Now you ruined it because this person's face was in it. And I don't know if you know this, but we just got out of a panoramic, and with no, thank you. So that's my take on that. But enjoy it. Enjoy your birthday. I don't know why that got me in a tangent. Yeah, you ate one in your video. Oh, you had one in your video, but never ate it. Yeah, there was. I don't know why they bought so many treats, dude. They bought so many fucking treats just to try out. And Turner just said, "Oh, here, let me just record you on camera." Like this awkwardly. I'm like, he had no input. I thought that he would have had at least maybe a back and forth and it would have been funny. But he just silently watched me enjoy these fucking treats. And I felt like shit. I felt like shit for 2 hours after because the amount of dumb sugar that I consumed. But it was definitely an interesting look at what you guys consider to be biscuits and snacks, which is it's non-existent. If you had to compare between having something like that and then having nothing, I'd rather have nothing. I'd rather have literally nothing than have one of those. The only good one there was the Odie one, right? The one I said, oh, the Odie one. That was on a fucking title, which was quite a culture shock. But I also looked at when I looked at my bank account, I was so upset to see all the transaction fees and all the. I mean, in terms of like drinks and stuff, I've never seen cheaper drinks than in Blackpool. I don't understand how the bars survive. People were buying rounds, right? Like, oh, let me just buy 12 beers at a time and bring a tray to the table and just hand out beers. And oh, how much did you pay for that? $25. Okay. Oh, at some point, went to a club and Peter comes out with a tray of just Jaeger bombs and then he just hands it to all of us. How much did you spend on that? $20. Yeah, but there was like 30 shots in that tray. Do you understand? A friend of mine a couple days ago was telling me they went to a local bar here and they spent $80 on 4 shots. $80 on 4 shots, and not even of good liquor, but like fucking Grey Goose or some or no, it's the Colombian thing, Aguado, I think. Are you having a fucking laugh? So the prices there were unbelievable, and that would be my downfall. It would be my downfall because imagine you could just go to a bar and for $10 you could have 5 beers and you're good to go. What? No, thank you. Jesus, keep me with my Miami prices that don't allow me to go and drink frequently. Uh, the greatest magic trick is getting out of Blackpool without getting food poisoning. You know how many times I had to ask if drinking the water was safe? Is that racist? Is that rude? I had to ask a bunch of times, hey, can I drink the water? Like, is that good? Can I drink your water? Like, I don't know if that's a thing, right? Because here, Miami-Dade County, we got some fucking tremendous water, boy. We got some hot municipal, uncontaminated fluoride water, right? Tremendous quality, good taste, supple. There's no, like, if you go up north to Orlando, they have, like, sulfur. Bullshit. It's gross. New York smells like poison, their water. But Miami water, every day, your boy's out here drinking Miami water, and the amount of hydration I get from just a single sip. So compared to England, where I had to ask, like, hey, are you guys in a boil water policy? I don't know. I don't know. Is that is that elitist of me to think in my ignorant American way that water in England is contaminated, right? Because I feel in my head it comes from a waterfall, it goes to like a castle, like it goes to like a moat in a castle, one of those spinny things, and then and then there's a person pooping in the water, and and then that goes to this. That's how I imagine it. But I'm obviously thinking of of medieval time water. I actually went to a Scottish festival yesterday, which was a waste of time. Um, I forget the differences between all the individual countries in the United Kingdom, right? And this was a specifically a Scottish festival. And no way. It was Miamiized. There was no authenticity. Obviously, a bunch of people in kilts, but no, thank you. Right? I would have preferred that though than what I got in Blackpool, to be honest. If I were to pick an experience, then maybe I would have had a better time. I would have probably preferred to see people in kilts and or the Scots than whatever people reside in Blackpool. I still refuse to believe that people live in Blackpool. I just think it's like it's a town that's for movie sets, right? Because it's 95% hotels. There's no way that you could tell me, and I'll believe you, that people reside in Blackpool, England. What do you do? What do you do? I saw the clubs. I saw the bars. I saw the Ruskin was at least well maintained. But if you're there and you're going to the Ruskin, like, oh hey, we're gonna go out. All right, what do you want to do? Let's go to Ruskin. Why? I mean, the only time that I think it's tolerable is when there's the Magic Convention. But any other time, what are you doing? What are you doing to yourself? Right? They had like a music performance on the bottom floor. You had locals there going to Ruskin, right? And they're all confused because they're seeing all these magicians in the lobby. Like, what? Huh? People come here? Apparently they do. Apparently that's the town to be in summer. I'm shaking out of anger just the thought, especially coming from this city, right? The beautiful beaches of Miami, Florida, where you could drop a proverbial needle in any point in the map in Google Maps, and you're gonna find at least five, 10 out of 10s, women and men, right? 10 out of 10s at any point. If you drop a needle in any place in Blackpool, what you're gonna find is urine. You're gonna find man, we went to my biggest regret in Blackpool. I have one regret, and that is I saw Peter Turner perform maybe 1,000 times in Blackpool, which is a very humbling and learning experience in and of itself, right? Because you see this guy do his stuff, blows my fucking mind. Blows my mind how he gets out of things and how he navigates through things. Right, watching him do the same trick, and then in one instance it works well, and then in the other instance it kind of he has to navigate it. But it always ends with how the fuck? Oh my god, unbelievable! It always ends in the same, which is a crazy reaction. Went to a strip club, and they had a no phones rule, right? Which makes sense because if anybody were to ever take any pictures in this particular establishment, nobody would ever come again. Nobody would ever go to that fucking place because it was a shithole. But at some point, I think I don't know if I mentioned this on a live stream or before, but the strippers approach and they're trying to solicit dances, and I gave my best. ¿Qué? No, 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 no speak English. No, yo no hablo inglés. No te entiendo. ¿Qué? ¿Qué? Oh, no, 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 un baile. No, 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 no me gusta eso. No me gusta eso. ¿Qué? No, ¿qué? No, no te entiendo. Right? You give your best sort of like, I don't know what the fuck. I'm just, I don't speak English vibe. But then Peter ends up doing Midas touch for them, right? That wonderful routine where he has two people stand across from each other, and then he touches one, and then the other one says, "Oh, I just felt a touch," and then he goes, "All right, I just tapped you again. How many times do you feel it?" They say 2 or 3 times, and again they're far apart, and he goes, "All right, on that last touch." What was different about it? And they go, "Oh yeah, I hurt. It was more aggressive." And of course they talk, and you weren't anywhere near the person, and it's all done with fucking words. It's all done with words. Just right. We were looking at some other touches, some other touch effects, and they all involve this thing, right? Let's say the person's here, right? So imagine this would be the individual. They all involve doing this, right? This thing, look, I'm not touching you. I'm not touching you. I'm not touching you, right? They all involve that thing to some capacity. Nope. Not with this trick, not with this version. This trick just involves this right here, words, words, and then they end up coming to a ridiculous conclusion, and every person gets an effect. It's not just this person gets an effect; everybody gets an effect. Oh, and he did it for these strippers, and I didn't get that recorded because I was afraid that I was going to get bitched at. I should have played the I don't speak English card and just recorded it and said, "Oh no 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 no, you're no, I didn't know, you're no sabo," and just done it. But that was a great performance, and they reacted. They fucking went crazy because of that. And I saw him do that trick constantly, and I even said, "Hey man, teach me that trick. Just teach it to me. Let me try to do my best in it." But to do it to that capacity, it's fucking ridiculous. And the star sign stuff, he doesn't even breathe when he does it. He just goes, he just gets right into it, and he's telling people star signs and their names and their birthdays. It's fucking wonton. I hate it because he's a bully. You'll find inbred too. Yeah, that's the other thing that's great about Blackpool, England, is that everybody there has had intercourse with each other. Even brothers, sisters, parents, cousins, doesn't matter. It's all one whole to them. I've heard inbred is good. You just have to get the X and the Y chromosome ratio correct. Yeah, that's exactly it. But I don't know what I want to get into. I maybe wanted to talk a little bit about that drama, right? There's a little bit of that drama. I wanted to maybe make an entire video on its own for the illusionist Kalen drama. Obviously, I'm a little bit biased because I've been working with illusionists to some capacity for the past month, making videos for them. So I'm biased to that. But here's the thing: I'm not biased because of that. I'm biased because of the video that I made about Kalen Morelli versus Jeremy Griffiths. Griffiths, this is right. There was a video that I made a little while ago that I thought ended up coming out great. It was one of my favorite videos that I've done about a topic in the magic community, and it was against this little beef that Jeremy Griffith had against Kalen Morelli, and it was probably, I would say, maybe the biggest virgin battle of the 20s of the 2020s, right? Because Kalen was like, "Yo, do a trick that involves some form of creativity and some gimmick." And Jeremy was like, "Dude, do some sleight of hand magic and stop relying on fucking flaps, dude. Nobody gives a shit." And this guy goes, "All right, I'll do that, but you better do a fucking gimmick trick where you come up with something creative that isn't just some sleight of hand bullshit." And they went back and forth. And I did a video covering that. And I think I did a really good job covering the beef. And I got no reaction from any of them. I got no reaction from any of them. I just got like maybe a passing comment from Jeremy. And I was like, I mean, you guys can't take yourselves this seriously, right? I get obviously you guys are extraordinarily talented in your own fields, second to none. All right, Jeremy Griffiths, when it comes to sleight of hand work, just fucking beautiful, immaculate, just amazing work. Kalen with his illusions and that deck that I reviewed, and I gave it a super positive review, even though a lot of people hated it. I gave it a super positive review because the thought process behind it is just the guy's mind is in a different level. But give me some props, dog. You have to admit that your little beef here is just nothing but virgin beef, right? There's a lot of virgin beef here between you and him. And I didn't get even a chuckle. I just got maybe a passing comment, and I'm like, I'm like the Joker from Lego Batman, right? I just want to be a somebody's villain there, right? So I just want to be somebody's villain there. I don't want to just not be acknowledged, right? If you ever watched that movie, which I did, I recommend it. In the movie, essentially, Joker is just looking for Batman for him to be his villain, right? Hey, let me be your villain, essentially. And when it came to that, no, it was just nothing. There wasn't anything there. And this particular beef, it doesn't make any sense to me. It was odd beef from the very beginning. It's like, hey, here's a chance to do some stuff. Do you have any sort of timeline for this? Art's not on a timeline, buddy. What do you think, huh? That you could just rush art? I don't know. No, that's not what we're asking. We're just asking if, when do you have a time frame for certain things? Whoa. Hey, you guys should all comment on all the posts saying to let me do my own shit. Unnecessary. It was unnecessary. I think that was blown out of proportion. and there's a lot of unnecessary beef from that particular scenario. But I was thinking of doing a video all on its own about it. I think it's an interesting topic. You don't talk to a king that way. Yeah, that's the one that I also thought was a joke, right? But no, I think it was done with maybe 99% sincerity. He goes, "You don't talk to a king that way. I just want you to do 1 minute of pure gimmicked, unsleight of unsleight of hand. Jesus, I taught children, right? I want you to do a minute of gimmick magic with no cuts and just solid, unique ideas." And it's like, what is happening right now, guys? Are we not all adults here? Are we not all men, right, that have things to pay and responsibilities? And we're here dropping videos, right? Just fucking looking directly at the camera and saying, no, what I want you to do is to just do a minute of exclusively sleight of hand. What's going on? Like, this is wrestling if wrestling was done by magic virgins, right? So that was my beef with that. So I don't know if I should do an entire video on that because I have, a little insight. I have a little, not insider info, but I have, some, I guess, fun bants regarding that little beef. It was all done on Instagram stories, which is another thing, right? Just these long-winded paragraphs saying, no, this is this and this is that. And come on, man. Just fucking make some AirPods disappear, you know? Like, I don't get it. But obviously, this is me from the outsider looking in at a bunch of creative people, more creative than I would ever be, essentially. So where am I? Where am I in the spectrum of this beef, right? Because all my input to the magic community is, oh, I just make dick jokes while doing card tricks, right? Not a lot of magicians tend to be as crass as I am when it comes to my humor. So that's where my niche is, right? That's where my little cubby is when it comes to the magic community. Is that really worth anything? Let's be honest. Is that really worth anything? I don't think so. Some people think it's worth something, right? And luckily, I do have a quite loyal fan base when it comes to the patron stuff, when it comes to the YouTube stuff, and I'm eternally grateful to that, right? But that's my niche. And then you have people that are coming up with just wildly creative things that are just beyond anything that I could ever think of. Even if I sat down and tried and actively said, no, you're going to come up with something. I couldn't. I couldn't. And I'm here in my little cubby, just making dick jokes when it comes to my card tricks, pulling dick rubber bands out of my mouth and gum, right? That's my niche in there. So yeah, I don't know. I don't know. I don't know if to make a video on it. I guess that's why I called this stream. I called this stream the "What is Magic Virginity?" And the definition that I had on Abraxas's channel. So I did a little interview with Abraxas, Nathan Lindley of the Resurrected deck, a Resurrection deck, and he asked me what's virginity, right? And obviously the video was an entire joke, but he got me thinking, what is virginity? I always say it, but what is it? And I think it boils down to this. It's too much of one thing. It's too much of one thing. We all love magic, right? I'm here, obviously. I'm in the whole deep when it comes to magic. But when it comes to virginity, there's a limit. And when most people get into something, they cross that threshold and they get into virgin territory by becoming too much, becoming invested too aggressively in whatever it is they're doing. And this could be anything. This could be cigars. I've seen cigar virginity, car virginity. I've seen music virginity. I've seen videography virginity. I've seen there's virginity for anything that you could imagine. Now, the thing about magic virginity is that it stands out more because when it comes to magicians, they already have an overinflated sense of their ego, right? So magicians tend to think that their shits don't stink because they get these reactions, even from terrible tricks, they get these amazing reactions. Oh my God, I've never seen this before. This is amazing. You're the best I've ever seen, right? And that gets their little smart, feeble heads. So virginity is when you have too much in it, right? So you're too much of a magician. Now your whole life is encompassed by this one thing. You're all in. You're only a magician. You don't have anything else. You don't have any other wishes, wants, desires. All you want is just magic, right? That's virginity. Same thing with music, right? Oh, you're the guy that posts and comments saying, ah, man, the vibrato was off there. Oh, I don't like how they're straining their voice. I feel like their vocal box is going to be straight. And like you get into jargon and like general situations. Like nobody cares. Nobody cares. So I think that's what virginity is when it comes to magic. Too much. Too much. Tone it back. And you're gonna find out that if you tone it back even a little bit, you're gonna start growing as an individual. Not me physically, but you're gonna start growing as an individual. And because of that, your magic's gonna become better. The better you become as a person, the better your magic becomes. The better you become as a magician, the worse you become as a person. It's literally it's a mathematical law, right? And it's I think you can't argue with it because it's imagine you're putting so much focus on being a magician that you forget what it's like being a normal person. But then you improve your skills as a person, and you're also improving your skills as a magician because magic involves social skills. It involves talking and directing attention, and you can't have that if you've only ever done magic. So there's a lot of virginity, and I think that's what it boils down to whenever I say the word virginity, right? So I think that was the topic. Would a dedicated porn star then become a virgin? Well, that's the thing that people misunderstand, and one thing that I always have to mention when it comes to virginity. Look at this bar, by the way, right? This bar is taller than I am. So I was just doing some basic rudimentary workouts, and look how pathetic this is. This bar is taller than I am, right? It's just here in the middle of the living room. Somebody made fun of me the other day because they walked in and they saw little like shitty weights on it. They saw what weights here, some tens and some fives on each side. And I'm like, no, 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 no. I was just trying to do some curls. And they're like, you were trying to do some curls? Are you crazy? That's nothing. You're a pussy. I'm like, no, no. All right. It's called caring about the form, worrying about more than that than just ego lifting. You fuck. Beside the point. So when it comes to, let me see, virginity, people assume I'm married. I'm not a virgin. Yes, you are. It's not about sex, right? Virginity is not about sex. You could be a porn star and still be a virgin. You could still, if your job is literally to have sexual intercourse, you could still become a virgin by virtue of the definition of being too much of a porn star, right? Your whole life is now porn and porn and porn. You're now a porn virgin, right? So there's virginity in everything. And sex doesn't mean anything because that's been something that I've heard magicians retort with. Like, no, I'm married, dude. What are you talking about? I have kids. I'm not a virgin. Yeah, you are. Yeah, you are. Because if that's your defense when being accused of being a magic virgin, that might be one of the most virgin-y things you could do. Is to say, no, no, I'm married. I have kids. Well, okay. Now your virginity has gained at least 20 points because of that excuse. You should just acknowledge it and say, yeah, you know what? I am. I am, just like I do. I acknowledge my virginity. I say, hey, I'm PigCake, and I'm a virgin. I'm a professional virgin. I embrace it. I take it as a part of my personality, and I think people appreciate that. So let's see. Good point. Well made. Thank you, Dr. Muggs. Appreciate that. Although I don't know if you should actually, if I should refer to you as doctor. I feel like that's just, it's like a stolen valor, right? Orlando Waters Terrible says Jeff Lancaster. I agree. It tastes like sewage, tastes like sulfur. They're very sulfuric liquids over there, which I don't understand because I guess maybe because of their fucking filtration systems. But it's like imagine if you when you walk into a bathroom and someone just lit a match to try to cover up the smell of stank, right? They light the match, and then now you have that in your water. That's your permanent water supply. Gross. Um, so that's pretty much it. I don't know if I want to get into anything else. I mentioned the decks that I got. I mentioned the products that I got at Blackpool. I might go back to doing the official PigCast where I have the little studio setup, have the little backdrop. I might do that on the next one. But I do enjoy these little freeform ones, right? Where just it's essentially my therapy. So this is essentially my therapy. And the other part that I'm not looking forward to is that I have to dog sit a nightmare dog for the next day. So I'm not happy about that. I'm going to do that probably now. I'm going to walk this nightmare dog and attempt not to just grab the what do you call it, the leash, and just be a part of a Netflix documentary for. I think I mentioned that too in the last stream, but I was telling the story as to my journey, right? Because they kept canceling my connecting flights. So every single flight that I had that was connecting to London from Manchester, they canceled about 3 times. And I had to take the train and then take the subway. I had to figure that out, and it was a journey. And then finally, I get through the immigration, and I'm begging the lady, please, my flight leaves in 20 minutes. Can you just get me through here? And she gets me through, and I'm like, oh, thank you so much. Then I get to the TSA, and they're saying, oh, do this, do that. I'm like, all right, let me put my bag here, let me put my bag there, and I'm doing what they're telling me to do. I'm looking at my flight to make sure that I don't do it. And at the end, some fucking cunt says, some dude. Oh, because I didn't separate my liquids. I mentioned this in the last live stream. I'm not even going to get into it, but I was just retelling that particular tale to somebody recently, uh, and I realize now, like I could have ruined my whole trip there, because that guy could have probably just said, oh no, we're going to put you aside because you're a security concern, because I told him that essentially I don't care who his wife's fucking, but you're not going to take the anger out on me, buddy, because he told me to separate my stuff. What a fucking nightmare that was coming back. But that's the stream. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Thank you for fucking calling me while I'm trying to do a stream here. And thank you guys. I'll see you on the next one. I'm going to go walk a nightmare dog. Watch the videos that I've put out recently. Look out for the Blackpool video that's going to come up on Illusionist's YouTube channel. Braxis, also on his YouTube channel, has a nice interview with me and a nice tale of his take on Blackpool. I believe there's another one. If you look at Skinworks, which is where I got my tattoo, they have a nice little video, which is a preview of a upcoming tutorial that I'm going to do on Illusionist's channel as well. Look at that. Content for everyone, my friends. You got Patreon, you got YouTube, you got fucking Illusionist. Your boy's out here grinding, and the grind don't stop. People try to stop the grind, but that's just because, well, I don't know. They suck. But that's the video. That's the stream. I guess I'll leave you guys in a little bit of some advice, right? Tea's not bad. Tea's not bad. So if you're gonna get some tea, I've enjoyed Twinnings, right? But a lot of people enjoy it with milk. Here's the thing: you should put creamer. Put some creamer, some zero sugar creamer, and that's gonna be your best take on tea. And I'm not a tea guy, but I'm now become a tea guy because of my experience in England. So creamer, put some vanilla creamer. That's my tip. Insider trading, Nancy Pelosi.